Hi Taurus, welcome to your May 2024 energy reading. My name is Kimberly from the Path Illuminated. If you are returning, thank you for your support. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell if you would like to stay up to date on when I post new content here. Happy birthday, Taurus. We are still in your season. I hope you are enjoying it. We just moved out of Mercury retrograde, thank God, on April 25th. April's been intense. So I hope you're doing well, Taurus. As I'm recording this, it is April 27th, so a few more days in the month before we shift into May. May 2nd, we have Pluto going into retrograde in Aquarius, so another good time of deep reflection, understanding our values, the changes we want to see in the world around us, and how we are or are not contributing to the change that we want to see in the collective. Better understanding our place and the bigger picture. And then we have the new moon in Taurus on May 7th. And then Gemini season begins on May 20th. So again, happy birthday, Taurus. Thank you for being here. We're going to get going. Thank you, angels, spirits, and guides. Please help me in pulling the most relevant messages for Taurus at this time, Spirit. That would be the most beneficial messages for Taurus, Spirit. Let's get a couple more cards. Get one more. Okay. All right. So we have the Chariot in reverse, Taurus. I'll show it to you upright. A Chariot is a card of Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon. Cancer's archetype is also the mother. So it's in reverse. So maybe, you know, the past several transits, the past month or so, there's been obviously, and you know, yes, Mercury went direct on the 25th, but we do have 2 more weeks of post-retrograde shadow. And then we're going into Pluto retrograde. So perhaps this has been a time of really deep contemplation for you and wondering about your place in the world is what I'm getting. Who am I? What do I want to do? What do I want to contribute? What do I do with all of this energy? What do I do with all of this talent and skills? There's something I can say about the Tauruses that I've had the honor of meeting and knowing. Y'all tend to have a lot to give, a lot of skills, a lot of abilities, a lot of talents. So maybe this has been a time and continues to be a time of you trying to better understand how you want to show up in the world, how you want to contribute. It doesn't necessarily need to be a negative thing, right? We can say like maybe there's been some insecurity about the way you show up. Perhaps there's been, you know, some mother wounds that have come up recently or are coming up. And you're learning how to better love yourself and understand yourself and how to mother yourself first, how to take care of yourself first before you show up for the collective. That's kind of what I'm getting right now, Taurus, is that like, it's a time of deep reflection about yourself, who you are, how you want to show up in the world, but also in trying to better understand like, yeah, I have a lot to contribute, but how do I make sure that I'm taking care of myself in the process? How do I make sure that I'm satisfied and I'm taken care of? And I don't see that in a selfish light at all whatsoever, right? Like you can't pour from an empty cup. I just feel like there's a lot of excavation that's been going on and it's probably going to continue to go on, especially with this Pluto retrograde and likely into this new moon in Taurus, right? Like I think it's a good time for you to really sit and think about, again, who am I? How do I want to show up? What do I want my legacy to be? What do I want to manifest in this next cycle, right? We have the 8 of Swords. So yeah, there might still be some overthinking and sleepless nights, but I think that's normal right now. And yeah, we are going to be moving into Gemini season, so that could kick up some overthinking. You know, I'm a deep believer, Taurus, that things happen for us, not to us. And I think that any sort of overthinking, it's happening to bring something up for you to better understand about yourself. Maybe understanding your need for control. Maybe there's perfectionism that has started to rear its head, right? Because you have, like I was saying, the Tauruses that I've been privileged to know and meet tend to have a lot of abilities, a lot of talents, a lot of skills. So I feel like because maybe you have so many different talents and a lot of different ways you can contribute, you might sometimes get stuck in overthinking, and perfectionism might rear your head, where if it's not exactly the way that you like ideally want it to be, you don't actually execute on the idea, on the plan. You tend to stay in the thinking space versus the execution space, right? All of you are going to be totally different. But that's kind of what I'm garnering from this Chariot in reverse and then the Eight of Swords. So, you know, that's likely still going to be something that's coming up for you as we're moving into May. Be with it, right? It's, again, happening to help you better understand yourself right now, right? Like, are there ways in which you have held yourself back because you've overthought yourself into not contributing something, not doing something, not executing on something? Have you talked yourself out of opportunities that have come your way because you maybe in the back of your mind, you're like, well, am I really that good? Or do I really care about that? And like, I think that this is an opportunity for you to get really, really real with yourself. I'm not saying that you're not Taurus. I'm just saying if this is something that's challenging you during this month, this is why it's happening. King of Wands in reverse. I'll show it to you upright. So I do feel like there's a struggle with taking action, and it may be related to, I don't want to say lack of confidence, but maybe just like really doubting if it's the right action to take. So I don't necessarily, like, I feel like you likely know how multi-talented you are, but I feel like maybe you get stuck in the planning phase again, and it's harder for you to execute. Because you want things to be just so, and you want things to be perfect, but perfection does not exist. And it has less to do with the outside and more to do with your own perception of self, right? That like, maybe you're afraid to let yourself down. Maybe, and this is not even necessarily a bad thing. I feel like this is like an honorable thing, that like, you do want to show up as your most aligned self. You do want to put your best foot forward. But I feel like perhaps the fear of not showing up perfectly could stop you and hamper your confidence to execute on some of the opportunities that have come your way. And that's just something to sit with and to really ask yourself and your higher self and your guides about, right? It's not something to shame yourself about, Taurus, because I think it comes from a good and a well-meaning place, that you want things to be done right. You have a certain vision in mind, but is that vision so restrictive and so boxed in that any sort of deviation from this idealized version stops you from actually taking that action forward, putting yourself out there, executing on these ideas that you have? Do you have your head in so many places that you have so many ideas that it's hard to just focus on maybe one or two so you can execute on them? And so again, you get stuck in the planning phase, but are you actually able to execute on those ideas so that you can bring them into fruition? Or do they just stay in, again, the planning phase, in the thinking phase, but they don't actually make it out into the real world so that other people can witness and, you know, be blessed by the many skills and talents that you actually have to offer. And then we have the Five of Coins in reverse, which again, I feel like I'm getting like, this is really the universe wanting you to let go of the fear of being left out in the cold. This is the universe triggering certain things within you so that you are no longer holding yourself back, because you can't be so attached to a particular outcome that you never even put yourself out there to begin with. And it's almost like if you continue to let that fear of being imperfect or not being well received or not getting the response that you want, if that's the driving force, it's like your fears will come into fruition, because your fears are what's driving your action or lack thereof. Does that make sense? So it's like, it's not like a slap on the hand. It's just like, don't stand in your own way and keep it real with yourself, right? What is stopping you? What is really holding you back, Taurus, from putting yourself out there to the world? What is stopping you from executing? What is there to lose? What is there to lose? Oh, damn, that's hella cards. It was like 7 cards, Taurus. All right, Spirit. Can I get some more information? Okay. Let's get a couple more cards. So if this is resonating for you, Taurus, don't forget to like, give me a comment below. Let me know how this is showing up for you. Okay. So then we have the Four of Cups. So again, I do feel like this is a confirmation that there are some fears, wounds, traumas, insecurities that are being triggered at this time so that you can face them and sit with them. It's like you have to process these first before you can look up and be willing and ready to receive the opportunity that the universe wants to give you. So if there's felt like, again, like a lack of, movement forward, and a lack of clarity on how to move forward, it's because there's something that the universe is wanting you to sit with and address. It's wanting you to sit with those old memories of when you did put yourself out there and maybe you were judged or criticized and it hurt your feelings, understandably so. Or maybe the times where, people said they were going to show up for you, but they didn't. People said they were going to support you, but they didn't. The universe wants you to sit with that, to validate those experiences, right? To understand what is stopping you from executing. What is stopping you from taking that aligned action on those 1 or 2 things instead of just like staying stuck in planning and creating, but never executing? What are the old wounds, the old fears, the old stories that have kept you stuck in the planning and creating phase without executing and putting yourself out there? Once you can sit with that, right, and validate those experiences, again, this is not from a place of judgment or shame. It's just like the universe wants you to understand this about yourself so that you can process it, release it, and be open to something abundant and beautiful that the universe has for you. Once you do that, if you choose to do this, because right, you're all different and you have free will, you don't have to do anything, Taurus. Just, I'm just the messenger. But if you accept this challenge and do this work, Queen of Swords, I'm getting, you will gain so much clarity. You will be able to fully execute on the opportunities, the ideas that are going to best serve you. If you can acknowledge, validate, and sit with these old stories that have held you back in the past. If you can acknowledge the ways that you have overthought yourself into being stuck. if you can acknowledge the ways that your lack of confidence and fear of failure has stopped you from executing. Sitting with those fears of failure is going to bring so much clarity to you, because at the end of the day, you're the one who's in charge. So you're going to have clarity of mind, clarity of action. You're going to be better able to communicate with those around you. People are going to understand where you're coming from, because there will no longer be any sort of internal dissonance, inner conflict, but there will be a level of clarity that is emanating from within your soul, that you know what you're capable of. You know the discipline that is required to take inspired action on your goals. And you will know exactly how to show up and how to communicate your offers, how to communicate to your clients, how to communicate at your job, right? If you have a 9-to-5 job, like how to communicate to your team, how to communicate to your friends, whatever it is that you're working on, which it could be a number of things. Again, Taurus, you have so many talents. You're going to gain clarity if you can sit with the depths of the stories behind why you've had a hard time executing and taking this very clear action and path forward. Two of Swords, because there are some decisions to make, and how you're going to move forward, how you're going to execute, what you're going to put your time and energy into. And I think it's interesting, because when I first pulled the first 4 cards, I kept talking about like picking like 2 things to focus on. And I kind of feel like this is a confirmation that you have, like, maybe there are like 8 different things you could be doing. Maybe there are like 8 different skills you have, 8 different opportunities, 8 different offers. And I feel like the universe is like, just focus on 2 so that you can really focus your energy and execute. And this is going to be about finding that alignment between your intellect and your intuition, your emotions, right? Because you see the water here, and then the swords or air energy. And with the moon here, I think, again, really utilizing this new moon in Taurus on May 7th to set your intentions about what you want to execute in this next phase is going to be really, really powerful for you. And then Ace of Wands. If you can focus on the 2 things, skills, offers, whatever it is that you have to give to the world, it's going to bring in a very abundant offer that you did not expect. That's going to give you an opportunity to really flourish. Again, I don't know what this is. This could be, a business opportunity, a creative project, a raise, a promotion, but it comes after you decide to focus on these 2 offers or plans, projects. Once you can focus and execute on what you're going to put out there and how you're going to present yourself, your offers, your gifts, your projects, that's when this opportunity is going to come towards you. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I feel like we have all been really going through the gauntlet. Like I said, April's been really freaking intense. But I love to see the shift in energy from a place of like really needing to go within and to ask yourself how you may be holding yourself back, how old stories from the past may be holding you back, how, just a lack of clarity, overemphasis on planning and making sure everything's so perfect that you never put it out there, that like there's an opportunity to shift out of that and to get clarity and to really focus on strongly getting, like, choose 2. That's what I'm getting, Taurus. Now you do you, but it's like finding those two either offerings, creative projects, or plans that you can really focus on and execute on is going to bring in an additional opportunity to further what you are working on. Again, this could be a person, you know, a side hustle, entrepreneurship, a business that you're building, or even at work, depending on your situation. So let me know if this is resonating for you, Taurus. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment below. If you want to book a personal reading with me, Taurus, click the link below. The only way to book a one-on-one with me is via my website. I'm going to go a little bit deeper. This is the Wandering Star Tarot. Spirit, can I get some additional insights for Taurus? I don't need that many cards. The cards really want to talk. I'm going to blame that on Mercury going direct. All right, Spirit, just like one card, please. Just two is fine. Okay, so we have the Seven of Wands over the Chariot. So this has been a very challenging time for you. It's been a time of inner conflicts and also maybe feeling the need to protect yourself, right? Which totally understandable, Taurus. Like, you've been going through it. So it has not been the time to let other people into your world, right? Like, you've needed to defend your peace so that you could have this time to really go deep within and to better understand some of the ways and stories and traumas that have been holding you back, right? And if you can't trust somebody, then you need to be kept out, right? You have your own inner battle that you're working through, that you don't need people who are going to bring criticism, judgment, and, you know, conflict and unsolicited advice into your situation when you're already your worst critic, right? Like, you don't need that. So what I would say is, like, continue to protect your peace. Don't open up to people that are just going to feel like they have a right to tell you what to do, tell you to get over it, be dismissive or whatever, right? Interesting enough, we have the Eight of Swords and then the Ten of Cups. So it's like the willingness to sit with this discomfort, this overthinking, this questioning yourself, right, is also, I think, helping you to better understand what you actually need to be emotionally fulfilled in your life and your relationships. It's like you can only spend so much time in the mind space before you're like, but what about my heart? And I do feel like, again, right, that all of these triggers are happening to help you go deeper with yourself and to get really, really clear about, like, what do I as a Taurus need to be happy? What do I want in my life? And again, I'm continuing to get to, like, really work with this new moon in Taurus on May 7th, right, about the things that you want to manifest around your emotional life and the things that you need to be happy and fulfilled. Right? We don't want to be stuck in this place of, like, overthinking. We want to move into this space of, like, okay, I've spent that time. I've gotten clarity about what I want, and this is what I'm going to focus on. This is what I know is possible, right? If I can focus my energy, right? If I can yield to the depths of what the universe is triggering in me, I can gain clarity about what is no longer serving me, the overthinking, the perfectionism, and where I want to move toward, right? Like, I want to work on projects that are going to put me out there, that are going to bring the right people into my business, or the right clients, you know, the right friends, the right love interests, right? Whatever that happens to be for you, Taurus. Okay. Let me see with this light. This is continuing to be a challenge for me, the lighting, but we'll see. Okay. All right, Spirit. Ooh. Okay. We got the moon. So definitely working with this new moon in Taurus is going to be big. We do have the Sagittarius full moon on the 23rd, so that could also be a good release for you. Letting go of any insecurity, perfectionism, lack of execution. But I just think like this is an acknowledgement that the universe sees you doing the work. And yes, there's still going to be things that are unclear and unknown. And I know that that can be really scary, Taurus. I know that like you have a certain way you want to do things, but in some ways it's like work with what you have. It's beautiful. It's going to shine a light on you and the raw beauty within, right? We have this wolf here that like humans, we have a tendency to overthink things and overdo things because we want them to be so, but there's a beauty in your raw talent, your raw emotion. You're just being exactly who you are and showing up in that raw human form. And I think that like this is the time to lean into that type of magic for you, Taurus. All right, Spirit, can I get a few more cards here? Two of Wands. Over the Five of Cups in reverse. So yeah, it's like making that intuitive decision, right, about how you want to move forward, and no longer allowing fear of past disappointment or fear of not being perfect to drive your choices, but really leaning into what lights your soul on fire, what makes you feel connected, what makes you feel magical. That's how you want to make your choices moving forward, is like with that deep inner knowing that like, hey, maybe I don't, because I also am noticing, right, that there's this darkness in the back, and we just had the moon, that like, sure, I may not know all of the ins, outs, and in-betweens, but I'm not going to let my fear of the unknown be the driving indicator in my choices and decisions. Judgment. Over the Four of Cups, that like the universe is wanting to assist you in accepting the past, accepting the lessons that came up with that, accepting that things that did not work out were for a reason. The people that were not meant to be in your life were removed for a reason. They were hard lessons, absolutely. But the universe has been and continues to be by your side and is supporting you in learning how to better discern the best choices for you and the best way to use your energy and resources and skill sets and magic, right? And I think you can trust yourself that like, just because in the past you may have, and I hate to say wrong because I don't believe in wrong and right. It's like you did the best you could with what you had in the past. You're a different person now. Trust yourself. Trust yourself to execute on the projects and the plans that are going to be the most beneficial and abundant for you at this time, Taurus. And then we have over the Queen of Swords, the Four of Cups in reverse. So yes, you will be coming out of this contemplation, out of this processing of past pain and disappointment and past fear. So I love to see that right after we had the Four of Cups upright with Judgment. It's like you will be coming out of any of this heaviness that you've needed to process. Again, this is all come up for a reason, for a purpose, right? It's breaking down the illusions of any sort of regret that you may have had. There's nothing to regret. That's very, very obvious. You're going to get really clear about your path forward, about who you are, about how best to present yourself and your skills and your magic to the universe for sure. Don't forget to like and subscribe, Taurus. Tell me in the comments, I am the magician. I am magic AF. Once you decide on these two projects, these two offerings, these two plans that you're going to execute on, the magic is going to be like unquestionable. This is happening at the right time, in the right place. You just need to focus your energy and your magic so that you can really make it happen, right? Like, you are one person, Taurus. You have lots of ideas, lots of skills, lots of gifts, lots of talents, but you need to focus, because where attention goes, energy flows, and you need to focus your magic so that you can bring this magic to life into the world and really manifest the abundance that is waiting for you. It's just about focusing the magic. That's what this month is about. And then we have Page of Cups over the Ace of Wands. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of love. There's going to be a lot of communication. There's going to be a lot of opportunities and offers coming towards you. These are going to be confirmations that you have chosen the right action, the right opportunity, the right projects to execute on, because the communication, the appreciation, the clients, the job opportunities, the promotions, the collaborations are going to be very, very abundant this month, as soon as you can focus that energy, Taurus. So yeah, lots to work through, but if you choose to take the time to be with it and to work through this, it's all going to turn out in the most magical way, Taurus. So I'm loving this for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments. I am the magician. I am magic AF. Okay, I'm going to pull a card from the Messages from the Spirits of Nature Oracle to close this out. Thank you again for being here, Taurus. I appreciate you. Okay, we have Crystal Quartz. Focus. I mean, that's what it says. Let's see what the card says. Let's see what the book says. Taurus, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to book a one-on-one with me, click the link below. The only way to book a one-on-one with me is via my website. All right. You're feeling fragmented due to being overwhelmed with responsibilities and worries about the future. And as a result, your tension and stress level is very high. Often when you wake each morning, you feel anxious about what the day will bring. When your attention and energy are scattered like they've been lately, everything on the to-do list seems like a top priority. As a result, it's been difficult getting things accomplished to your satisfaction. Hone this scattered energy by getting clear and focusing on your priorities. Before going to sleep, make a habit of listing your tasks for the next day. Organize a list so your top priorities are clearly identified and note any actions to take. Then start every day by meditating, focusing on your breath. Either place a crystal quartz before you or visualize one there. State your intention for the day out loud, trusting that the crystal quartz will amplify that intention, regain your balance, and sharpen your focus. You might pull an oracle card, whether from this deck or another. Continue these practices each day until you achieve a sense of peace and clarity. I also feel like, again, the new moon in Taurus is going to be very, very powerful for you. So definitely setting intentions about the plans, the opportunities and the offers you want to execute on is going to be very beneficial for you. So sending you lots of love. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.